Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Fates map demonstration. Except this time, unlike the past few that I've done on the channel, we're actually not in Conquest right now. We are in Birthright. Which, you know, might seem like an odd choice. But this isn't just any Birthright map. This is Chapter 23, the Camilla Sewers map, which is considered by, say, most people to be the hardest map in Birthright. Or at the very least, it's the highest difficulty spike compared to the map that comes before it. This is the first Birthright map to feature entirely promoted enemies. Also, with the exception of the sorcerers, every enemy has 8 movement because they're either on a horseback or on a wyvern. And Camilla herself has these dragon veins, which she can activate to throw fireballs down each main column of the map, which does 10 damage to all of your units in it. And she does it every turn. There's no way to avoid it. You can't dodge it. And she'll activate it on whichever column of the map you have most of your units on. And that can be, you know, a little frustrating because a lot of the times with Birthright, you know, the game is very enemy phase heavy, and a lot of the enemies are really weak compared to your units. But this is the first map where some of the enemies are actually pretty dang strong. And not only that, but this damage from Camilla is unavoidable, even for the most dodgy of units like Ryoma. And so because of that, people can actually, you know, compared to most of Birthright, can actually struggle a bit playing this map. But what if, you know, what if it didn't matter how much damage you took from Camilla's Dragon Vein, and it didn't matter how much movement the enemies had to reach you? What if you just kill them all anyways? Well, Felicia and Corrin are here to demonstrate how that works with dual vantage attack stance. They are both at S support with one another. They both have life and death and advantage, as well as some other skills to help out, like, you know, Malefic Aura, Heartseeker, Inspiration. And they both have pretty good magic. The main reason that I'm doing this with Felicia and Corrin is because of their personal skill. Supportive not only grants Felicia more damage, but also more hits, and of course Felicia grants Corrin more damage as well, with Devoted Partner and Inspiration. So together, the two are not only have an extremely high damage output, but are also extremely accurate. There is one enemy, only one enemy on this entire map who the two of them cannot take out together, and that is Camilla. Not because she has ridiculous res or anything. In fact, the sorcerers and strategists are more magically bulky than she is, but because she has Tomebreaker. And our hit rates against her are going to be like, you know, 55 displayed hit at best, and that's just not going to cut it. So we are going to need someone else to kill Camilla, and also I am deploying a full team, also just because I do want to raise a team this run. This is part of a draft that I did with some people where, you know, we had to draft for all 3 Fates routes at once. So my other combat units here are going to be Jacob for daggers and staff utility, Zana for staff utility and rallies, Kaze and Oboro, who are married to one another, Azura Hisame with Hinata as his backpack, Ryoma, who is married to his backpack, Hana, Shigure for rally utility, healing and some attacking here and there, and Reina for just being an 8-move flying bow user. And with that being said, yeah, I think let's just go ahead and get started, you know? So, fortunately, the most risky and least reliable part of this clear is actually this very first action right here. We need Corrin to get hit by this 61 from this sorcerer to set up Vantage turn 1. And then we're going to do something that might seem very strange. We're going to have Felicia equip the Calamity Gate to put herself at double S rank weapon triangle disadvantage. Or double A rank weapon triangle disadvantage, rather, against that Wyvern Lord. That might seem like suicide, but we're doing it because it gives the Wyvern Lord higher hit rates, which actually makes setting up Vantage more reliable. And between supportive, a defense tonic, a defense meal, and Gentian, she just barely survives the Wyvern with 1 HP, even after life and death. So Camilla activates the Dragon Vein. Gonna damage our units over there on the right, but they're gonna survive, don't worry. Also, a lot of our other units are going to see a good amount of combat just because, like, not because they have to, you know. If we really wanted to, Corrin and Felicia could sweep the entire map aside from Camilla, but I do want some more weapon rank and experience on my other units. Obro's trying to get Lance Fair, Hisame's trying to get Lance Breaker, you know, a couple other goals that we want before the last couple maps of Birthright. Right here, as you can see, perfect. The perfect Vantage setup. Also prepare for a lot of crit cut-ins, either from crits or from skills, because you're going to see a lot of them this clear. And yeah, as for Corrin and Felicia's goals themselves, the main goal, really, that I have for them with this map is to get Corrin 1 level, so that he can learn Vengeance, and also get him to B rank tomes, and get Felicia to, you know, a couple of levels, just because she does need the raw stats more than Corrin does. Hisame is going to go over here and block this choke point, so that these mounted units don't harass our right side squad. Also, shoutouts to Astra Deathblow. Gotta be one of my favorite combos. It's not optimal by any means, but it's very fun. Reyna goes up and assassinates this Wyvern, and in doing so also activates her personal, Morbid Celebration for some self-healing. And here, because I do want to get some experience on Shigure, he trades over the Beast Killer onto Oboro so that he can use her Dual Strike to take the kill. Also, don't pay attention to the fact that Obro just did a melee animation 10 feet away from the enemy. Just fates things. Just fates things. And this is the first real demonstration of what Corrin and Felicia are capable of here. Also, between Tonebreaker and his naturally high res, Jacob is at no danger to those Dark Knights. And yeah, as you can see, thanks to dual strikes, they kill so easily with so much room to spare in terms of damage. We mark Arthur and Effie just because getting in their range just makes things more complicated than it really needs to be, at least at the moment. And it might seem like that's a bit of a risky move for Kaze to make, because Camilla's Dragon Vein is going to damage him for 10 of his 35 HP at the start of enemy phase. However, Kaze is actually like... Oh, by the way, this is like my favorite crit animation in the game. I love the blacksmith crit, it's so dumb and funny and cool. But yeah, Kaze is actually completely fine because of guard gauge and because of the way that the enemy order works. He basically, in order to survive this next enemy phase, needs to dodge one Dark Knight, and the chances of that are very likely. They have very poor hit against him.
No need to worry. Whoa. You got this.
Yep, those two block the bridge.
My heart is singing. Be steadfast. Stand strong. Units are force. I'll help. Seems like a worthy
Yeah, so again, Corrin and Felicia, no chance of danger here because they have perfect hit rates and overkill damage. Yeah, so he guards one Paladin. The next one comes in, does a lot of damage. Guard gauge blocks one of the Dark Knights, and then he only has to dodge one. And the chances of that are pretty high, so... At this point, we've already eliminated a substantially large chunk of the enemies. And our next goal is to make sure that Arthur and Effie aren't really concerns for us anymore. Also, Obro is going up there to prepare for the Dark Knight reinforcements that spawn there. And here we are going to position these units in such a way that we can have Corrin pretty easily talk to Arthur on the next turn. We also place Reyna at the edge of a Malignite's range, so she can take it out. And yeah, so here, Camilla is going to use the middle Dragon Vein, which will destroy the Destructibles where Shigure is and allow Arthur to attack him. And because Shigure still has the Javelin equipped, he is not at risk of, you know, doubling and one-rounding Arthur at all. And that leaves, you know, Arthur in a pretty good position to get talked to by Corrin at the start of the winning player phase.
Everything will be just fine. Here I am. I believe in you.
Alright, that turns him and Effie green. And you don't gain or lose anything depending on whether they live or die through the map, so... what they do now is kind of not really a consequence. Especially Effie, because Arthur will move here, but Effie will not. Separate out here, letting Felicia take most of the experience, because she needs the raw levels more than Corrin does. And up here is where things do start to get a little interesting. So, killing Camilla with a non-tome, non-bow unit is easy. Because her defenses are not very good, and her speed is pretty low, so it's easy to double her. Like, Ryoma could easily one-round her. We're going to use Hisame in this demonstration, but you can use Ryoma or just any other, like... but really just any unit, like... that isn't a bow or tome user, because she has the breakers. And you'll be fine. Like, one-rounding her is not hard. But you do need to be a bit careful about it, because when you get into the range of Baruka and Selena, a ton of reinforcements will spawn around them. Meaning, like, if you know, if you can't actually get your Camilla killer to survive all those reinforcements, then suddenly it becomes kind of tricky. And you're gonna see how we deal with that in just a moment, actually. Thankfully, Corrin and Felicia do not gain enough health to exit vantage range. Wilbur reaches A lances, which is pretty neat. So Baruka and Selena, yeah, as you can see, that triggers all those reinforcements, and we are going to have our boss killer, Hisame, get ready to go in there and do his job. Now, something kind of funny is that, Corrin, you know, the regular dual vantage attack stance thing doesn't necessarily work in its full effect against Baruka and Selena because they are paired up, so they don't take damage from dual strikes. However, the resistance is actually pretty bad to the point where, even without dual strikes, oh yeah, rest in peace Arthur, by the way. Brave man. He died doing what he loved, fighting for justice. But yeah, Selena just barely dies here to Corrin's vantage attack. Vengeance honestly isn't that consequential or useful, but I equip it over Nobility because Vengeance is funny and Nobility is doing pretty much nothing for Corrin at this point. Ryomi uses the dual katana here because it gives him worse chances to dodge the silver swords, but way better chances to dodge the silver lances, which he takes way more damage from anyways. Felicia does this to get Baruka out of the way, which opens the path for Hisame to go in and go for the kill. And yeah, she does not stand any kind of chance. And of course, Blacksmith crit, yeah. But yeah, if he gets lucky with his dodges, Hisame could survive all those guys, but we really don't need to risk it, so... Hey, good thing rescue is viable in Birthright, huh? No need to be stingy with them. And Corrin waits in place to take the brunt of the attacks because he still has some weapon rank he wants to gain. And Reina here is going to provide Jacob with some dual strikes so that he can take these Malignite kills. And at this point, to be honest, the map's kinda over. There are still a good handful of turns left, because, you know, this is Birthright. It wouldn't be a Birthright map without dozens upon dozens of unnecessary reinforcements on a route map. And the rest of, you know, the footage here is pretty uninteresting and uneventful, I'll say. So, I'm not really gonna comment too much on what's happening on screen, because a lot of it is fairly self-explanatory. The only thing I'm actually really here still to say is to really talk, just for a little bit. You know, if you don't want to hear me ramble, like, the map demonstration's done by now, because the rest of this is just us taking out the very non-threatening reinforcements. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the channel. I actually really enjoyed making Fire Emblem videos. Especially just like Fate's videos like this. It's been really fun to show off like specific strategies and ideas, and you know, I'm definitely gonna do more of these in the future. But I also don't really feel the need to limit myself to just being like a Fire Emblem channel either. You know, I've made some other stuff in the past, like fighting game highlight videos, but I actually want to make some more proper, some more proper sort of like guide videos for fighting games, because I think those are very useful, and I just think that a lot of people would benefit from having something like that to watch. You know, people who are on the more beginner to intermediate end of those games. And so my next video is going to be that. My next video specifically, if all goes according to plan, is going to be a how to play Bridget guide for Guilty Gear Strive Season 3. Since she is my main in that game, and I just think she's a really cool character who, you know, if you are interested in playing her, hey, why not? Why shouldn't I make an up-to-date guide about, you know, what she can and can't do, strengths and weaknesses, all that jazz. And I might even do some more fighting game stuff too with other games. Obviously there's like Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, which are recent, but also fighting games that are older that I really like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Games that are not nearly as played nowadays, but I still think are worth talking about because they're really good games. And of course that doesn't mean, you know, I'm done, you know, making Fire Emblem videos or whatever, because, like, I still plan to make plenty more Fire Emblem videos, especially Fates related ones, because I love this game to death. Like, even this, like, I think, you know, Conquest is far, far superior to Birthright, but even though this was a Birthright video, I still enjoyed the process of coming up with this clear and making it. And, you know, I'll do the same for you know, for more Conquest and some Rev in the future, and, you know, just whatever I feel like, whatever sounds fun. As I'm sure you've noticed by now if you've watched multiple of my videos, I don't really tend to limit myself to any sort of specific schedule or specific set of ideas or videos. I just kind of, if an idea for a video sounds cool or feels cool, I'm gonna do it, and that's sort of the end of that story. And, you know, that's because I make these videos, not really, I make these videos partially because I want people to watch them and to be entertained, but also partially because I just have fun making them. And if someone else has fun watching what I have fun making, then all the better. But yeah, if you guys have any requests for future Fates-related videos, or even just Fire Emblem in general related videos, I would definitely suggest leaving, you know, something down in the comments. You know, saying like, hey, I'd really like to see something about this map, or, you know, a video demonstrating this kind of build or strategy, or, you know, just whatever. I'm pretty much never going to be bored when it comes to talking about and playing this game. It's absolutely one of my favorite games to just sit down and play and just come up with strategies for. Also, God, listen, I want to like Birthright. Birthright has so many cool units and classes, and such good music. Like, there's so much I want to like about it. But god, these maps suck. Like, okay, to be fair, if it weren't for these overkill reinforcements at the end, I would actually say this map is like really, really good. But Birthright does this thing where it's like, I don't know, Birthright does this thing where it's just like, hey, do we want the player to feel challenged and pressured without actually challenging or pressuring them? Just make them fight a bunch more enemies. Just increase the number of enemies on the map. Which I think is like the lamest, most annoying way to increase difficulty. Compared to Conquest, which changes enemy positioning and skills, or Rev, which increases enemy stats, to make them more threatening. Like, I think both of those methods are far preferable to just the quantity spam of Birthright. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling on and on about game design. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you all are looking forward to more fighting game stuff and more Fates and Fire Emblem stuff in the future. And as always, just remember that no matter how much Corrin or Felicia or Hisame contributes, everything in Birthright ends with Ryoma dodging and critting. See y'all next time.